encouragement to celebrate and embrace the Jewish holidays on many occasions. Chaya and Rabbi Berkowitz have worked tirelessly in helping build this local Jewish community, as you can see by the crowd here tonight. And I just want to thank everybody for coming and supporting what they're doing in this community. They've reached out to all generations of Jews from every background. So tonight, to begin the evening program, I want to introduce, it's my honor and privilege to introduce Rabbi Dov Ber Berkowitz.
Thank you very much, Julie. Thank you very much, Paul. Chairs of tonight's Gala, Building for the Future, an Evening for Inspiration. So this guy goes to his doctor, and it's not the punchline. So this guy goes to his doctor, and doc says, so what's the problem? And he says, oh, my wife is nagging me. She says, you know, you're just not the same anymore. All these things I ask you, you just can't do. And so he says, Doc, do the examination. Doctor checks him out, turns to the doctor, and he says, you know, I prepared for this. Say it to me in plain English. What's my problem? He says, in plain English, you want to know? In plain English, you're lazy. He says, great. Now give me the medical terms so I could tell my wife. So I'd like to begin tonight's evening with thanking my wife, Chaya. Chaya, thank you. You know, she's the one that came up with this exciting roller coaster to have a gala. I don't know if she knew what we were getting into, but without her, this event would never have happened from conception, from the beginning. The idea, up until every detail that you see in front of you tonight. Her plate is already overflowing, full-time director of a preschool, running different events at Chabad, and camp director, running a family, and so on and so forth. It was her skills and creativity that really made tonight's event happen. So thank you, Yeshua Chaya. I want to extend a special thank you to the chairs of tonight's evening, Julie and Paul, Yesher Koach. A thank you to the host committee of tonight's gala, and a special thank you, a special mention to Beth Kaiman, who really went above and beyond with the focus on the little details down to that chocolate that you found at your seat. Building for the future. Thank you very much, Beth. A special thank you to Bill Haber. Bill, Yeshua, thank you. Helping us with our AV needs and with producing a beautiful video interview you're all going to be seeing later tonight. Thank you very much, Bill. You may have noticed on the right and down to the left, there was a buffet the likes of which we haven't seen in Northern California. Tonight's kosher menu was just off the charts. And we have to give a special yasher koach to Nissen of Nissen's Catering. Nissen is Chaya's brother, my dear brother-in-law, who flew in from Florida. Spent a week here to prepare for tonight's event. Yasher koach, thank you very much, Nissen. I'd like to mention especially yasher koach, a thank you to Janice Charlson of Charlson Photography. Thank you, Janice. Special thank you to Bensi from the 8th Day and the 8th Day for coming and musical entertainment. And a special thank you to Tanya and Shayna of the Simcha Sisters for the beautiful arrangements and for running tonight's event. Thank you. Thank you very much. So after the rabbi of many years retires, the board of a synagogue is looking for a new rabbi, and it's not an easy job. You know, different people come in and they're looking for letters of recommendation, and Rabbi Cohen shows up and he's got a beautiful letter of recommendation. This is before emails, even before faxes. And on it, it says, Rabbi Cohen is like King David. Why, he's like a Moses. He's an absolute angel. Signed, Mr. Goldberg, president of the board of synagogue Kol Shamayim. With such a letter, Rabbi Cohen gets the job, and his first Shabbat is a disaster. President of the board on Sunday calls up Mr. Goldberg and says, Mr. Goldberg, how do you write such a letter? Such lies. He says, lies? What do you mean lies? He says, Rabbi Cohen, that was a disaster. He says, what do you mean? Like King David. He doesn't speak English. Like Moses, he can talk. And an angel, he's definitely not a mensch. So this week's Torah portion, which we start today, begins with the story of our first patriarch, Abraham, who's sitting recovering from his circumcision at the doorway of his tent. It's hot outside, and he's looking, and he sees 3 travelers. He gets up to invite them into his tent. Him and Sarah go and prepare food for them, and they sit down, they start eating, and then these travelers reveal themselves as angels, the angels who have come to foretell of the miraculous birth of Isaac of Yitzchak. And when thinking about the story, I thought that it was very important that originally the angels did not appear as angels. They appeared as regular, plain individuals. It was only after inviting them in, after sharing a plate with them, after speaking to them, that the angel was revealed. And I think there's an important message for each and every one of us. Many a time we look around and we see just regular, plain people. It is only once we invite them in, once we sit down with them, once we speak, that we're able to reveal the angel within every one of them. When asked how he formed the most beautiful sculptures, Michelangelo famously responded, I saw the angel within and chipped away at the marble until I set the angel free. And so I would like to give a special thanks to the Rebbe, to the leader of the Chabad movement, Chabad organization, who really looked at every individual and saw them for the depths of what was within them, their neshama, the angel within, who saw what they could be, who saw their potential, who inspired thousands to aspire for higher and strive for more, to look deep within themselves, reveal that angel and let it find expression in their lives, in their speech, in their action. And then to be able to look at their fellow and see them for the angel they are as well. With such a vision, imagine what the world would look like. Imagine the peace that would reign. And so I'd like to conclude by asking that you join me for a prayer of peace. Peace in our homes, peace in our families, peace in our community, peace in our beautiful country, the United States of America, and very importantly, true and everlasting peace in Eretz Yisrael, in our land of Israel. May God guard its inhabitants and the heroes of Tzahal, of the Israeli Defense Forces, and may we only join together for smachot, for happy occasions. Please join Bensi of the 8th Day for Oseh Shalom.